Thank you. Thank you, Arlindo. And first of all, thank you very much to Diving Talks for having us and giving us the opportunity to live stream from the field. Our compressor is running in the background, so I do apologize if you can hear the humming of it, but I hope it's not too bothering. And then another thank you also to Jill. Thank you so much for all your advice and everything you've done for us. Like, we wouldn't have been here without you. And thank you also to Jared for all of your support from Halcyon as well. It's been absolutely invaluable for all of the stages and all the regulators that we've staged inside the cave. It's also really exciting that you've already been here, so you know exactly what we're talking about when you're here and like how beautiful these caves are. We have made a little video, and we've only been 1 week in the field so far. We got another 2 weeks to go. So it's been roughly edited today. The sound is not perfect, but I think we're pretty pleased with what we have gotten so far, but also shows you a little bit about what we're working on. So I don't know if you could play that video for us now, please.
Okay, we are going to start the video now.
The Laulawi Cave Aquifer may hold vast natural and cultural significance, both for the Indonesian island of Pulau Muna and for the world. For 3 weeks in October 2024, a 28-person strong, multidisciplinary team from 7 countries joins forces to unlock the secrets of this remote, ancient underland. On Expedition Buteng, teams of cave divers, cartographers, dry cavers, scientists, and storytellers work together to explore Laulawi, both above and below ground. They will venture kilometers into the cave system, create specialized maps of Laulawi's wet and dry passages,
Kompas,
and conduct scientific testing to uncover new knowledge of when and how the cave was formed, as well as to assess the potential for its waters to provide a sustainable source of fresh water for the people of Buton Tengah. Together, we can begin to know the world beneath our feet. Nixie Expeditions, extreme exploration for environmental conservation.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, guys. Do you hear me again all right? Yeah, cool, perfect.
Yes,
so also
yes.
a very quick introduction to who we are. So as Arlindo said, I'm Rannva Joermundsson. I'm originally from the Faroe Islands. I am the global head of sales at Fourth Element, and I'm also a cave diver. And here with me, I have Maria Bollerup, my best friend on the planet, and the founder and CEO of Blue Venture, as well as working together with Rasmus in technical diving courses. And together we founded Nixie Expeditions, and we're the project managers of this project.
So this project, Expedition Buteng, is about 3 years down the line from when the idea first started to us sitting here today. And it is absolutely remarkable to sit here with the compressor running and actually a cave just underneath our feet as well. Because as Jared was saying, this island is just plastered with underground caves. It's so called the Island of 1,000 Caves, actually, very appropriately. In 2020, I got a text from a friend in Malaysia who asked if I would come and do some cave diving together with him. But he was apologizing beforehand because unfortunately the caves were not explored and we would have to play some line. And naturally that piqued the interest. So very quickly I reached out to a good friend, Pete Mesley, and my husband, Rasmus Deistedt, to figure out what we could do to put a little team together and come out and assist making some exploration in the area. our friend didn't have the time to join, but he collected us together with Robin Cuesta, who has been living out here, diving together with rock and roll divers for 10 years, as well as doing his own exploration. And asking Robin what we should bring, he said everything. And he was not kidding. As Jared was saying, you can get stuff out here, but it is a long haul. So we started exploring in the area, and Robin kept referring back to this one cave, Lawi Lawi, that he knew was huge and unique, but it was also supporting some villages in the area with groundwater. Or at least that was the intention of the pump installed in that cave. And after a couple of weeks of exploration, we got the permit to go and dive. So we went to the first village and talked to the chief of that village, and then to the next village and talked to that chief. And upon starting the dive in this cave, Robin had not been selling it short. It is an amazing, beautiful, and huge cave. And as Jared was telling, the corals inside the cave is absolutely mind-blowing. But we were just on the last couple of days of exploration here. So we went back as Corona was closing down the world, and we then sat on our hands for a long time, just waiting to get back out here. In the meantime, Rannva and I was on a project in Mexico with Robbie Smitner, put together Shunanha expedition, which was the first project we'd been on, where we were using our skills as cave divers and explorers to actually go and retrieve data to scientists. And I think both of us agreed that that was absolutely amazing. We've been diving, both of us, for years. I've only been part of the diving industry. I've never been outside of it. My whole heart is in this, and you are completely submerged too. So to get the chance to actually do something with that would benefit more than just our own exploration, that was a beautiful option. So together with Rannva, we sat down and created Nixie Expeditions, reached out in all different parts of the world. You'll get to that in a little bit. And that's why we're sitting here today.
So now, after 2.5 years, I think we were supposed to come here last year, but unfortunately we had some unexpected events happening, so we had to postpone for a year. And thankfully our team is incredible, and everybody like, yep, no problem, we're still here, we're keen, we're coming as well. So we're here now, and it's been a week, and expeditions are expeditions, so nothing really ever goes to plan. So today is a rest day. Actually, we've not been diving today, and it's starting to feel like almost human again. It's been running around for many days, sorting out logistics, making sure all the equipment is working. We started with having 2 boosters that didn't work on the first day, so that was mildly terrifying, especially when the most of the team is on rebreathers. But Robin, being the legend that he is, managed to fix both of them. So now we are able to continue the diving. Where was I at? So the team that we have is pretty incredible. We have about 28 people here. And of course, the divers are international. We have 2 Indonesian divers with us as well, Adida Harsono and Ari Saputra, who we've been working with as well. So we've been trying, to include as many of the Indonesians here, because we are guests in their backyard, and this is their backyard, this is their science, this is their culture that we're trying to investigate and try to understand.
So basically the team that we put together is consisting of 3 different areas. You have the cave divers, you got the dry cavers, and that is knitted together by the scientists, because the main objective of this project is to preserve the area. As Jared is saying, it is absolutely unique for several reasons, but the geological components of the underground here is absolutely one of a kind. So in order to do so, we reached out to University of Gajah Mada. Robin had already been working together with Professor Dr. Iko, which is a very fitting name for a lead scientist on a project like that, Dr. Iko, and started talking to him. And it shows that Dr. Iko is actually on the panel for the UNESCO Geopark application boards. And he turned back to Robin saying, well, this area is unique, and I've been wanting to do something there for a long time. So slowly we started developing the team with the scientists within in biology, geology, hydrology, and karst morphology. And together we are sampling for them to prove the uniqueness of the area, to aid the local community towards a geopark application out here. This means that every time we go in the water, there are many objectives. As the science divers on the team, we are jumping in the water, sampling water and sediments for the biologists. And already now, after coming out of the cave, we had the scientists on land with a DNA sequencer, and they stood there at nightfall running the samples that we had collected in the cave. And at that time, they could only sequence it for one type of DNA, but now they've been turned back to the lab, and we actually already now have some proof of DNA in the sediment samples. So the reason why that's interesting is in these isolated cave environments, evolution can kind of take its own little path. At least this is what we're told. We are not the scientists, we are only the hands. So of course we are completely interrogating them on a daily basis on what and why we're doing this and what we're looking for. And the idea is to look for ancient DNA in the fossils or in the limestone, and for metagenomics, so mapping out whatever is living in the cave, both to see the biodiversity. This is a very important point for geopark applications, but also to for the future of bacteria and medicinal purposes. So that's what we're doing. Rannva and I are the science divers, and we have the daily duty of scootering through this amazing cave with bags of sediments and water.
And having the time of our lives. Like, it's a bit of a pinch me moment to be here as well. But speaking of eDNA, I also would like just to mention some of the amazing partnerships that we've established along the way. So for example, Daniel Ortega from the Marine Genome Project, he has been absolutely invaluable in his support and his advice on how to do eDNA sampling. He's been available for well over a year now for all of our questions. And the same from phreatic.org, as Jared also was mentioning about SUEX and everything. They're doing lots of exploration in Sardinia. So they're also doing the eDNA sampling in there, and we're gonna get together after we've been here to share experiences and knowledge. So it's just, we're finding it really beautiful and really lovely, us as a community of divers getting together and working for greater good.
Yeah, it kind of had the what do you call it? The feeling in the community for a couple of years has been that whenever you find a cave, you try to hold it for yourself because you want to do the exploration. But this is completely being put to the grave with this project. Everybody has been open in advising us towards this goal for greater exploration purposes.
Yeah, and we're literally standing on all the work that, on the shoulders of all the work that explorers like Jill and Jared have been doing. So we wouldn't be here without all of the hard work that was there before us.
Yeah. The mapping team, so a very important task is to understand the size of this cave. Indonesia has a huge
speleological
society, exactly, because it's more or less karst limestone on many of these islands, and that is also kind of the what do you call it, exploitation goals. Or targets. So you see that many of these islands are being exploited by concrete companies. And because they use the limestone in the underground to make cement, this area has incredible, as we've said 1,000 times already, incredible limestone underground, and these caves are worthy of protection. So in order to do so, we'll be mapping the aquifers and finding new caves on the way, and that's a collaboration of the dry cavers. We have 6 of the best dry cavers in Indonesia walking around underground on a daily basis, mapping and finding new cave while collecting and documenting specimens and, of course, speleothems.
Yeah. And like Jared was saying, sorry to interrupt, like Jared was saying as well, they're finding pottery on a daily basis. Yeah. Still not found any cave paintings, but we still have another 2 weeks to go. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, we have an archaeologist on that team. He's very excited already to have found some pottery. So with the mapping, we're also working with the hydrologist team to understand the size of water. This water is sitting in the limestone, so it means it's very hard water. And the island of Pulau Muna is importing fresh water for drinking. So by tracing the water out here and by protecting it, we will be protecting the underground, but also a future resource of groundwater, which we all know is going to be one of the things in the future that there might be some battles over. With the mapping team underground, the scientists, we also have an amazing documentary team, because for the geopark application, we need to document the uniqueness of the area. And Dr. Eco yesterday was doing a small presentation during the team meeting about why this area is important and why it is unique, about the date and his thoughts about the area. And we're not gonna go to that yet, because that's going to be some of the reports coming out afterwards. But I think safe to say that the teams are really excited to work closely together.
Yeah. And with the teams as well, you know, we come back having dinner, we think, okay, people might want to go to bed, but like they're just like, okay, done eating, straight into their laptops and overlaying the maps, so you can try and overlay what the dry cavers have found with the underwater mapping team too. And David Mayer and Ari also found a pretty big new passage yesterday, plus the dry cavers have now found the downstream, so like the potential for exploration here is just enormous. So what happens next? Well, in about half an hour, we're going to the local village hall where we're having a community engagement evening. So we'll be giving some presentations to the locals and showing them what we found underneath their caves. Before we're allowed to enter Laulawi, we had to have a blessing, like you saw in the video, by the village elders, where we're blessed for the cave to protect us and for giving us safe passage and warding away the evil. It's even like they have such respect for the caves here that you're not allowed to say bad words within the caves. If you do say a bad word, you have to sincerely apologize to the cave. Apparently, it's allowed to say a bad word if it's said in excitement, but if it's a negative connotation, you have to apologize to the cave. And we found that pretty cool.
And admittedly, they do come out in excitement quite a lot.
Yeah. So we're very excited to go and show the villagers what their cave looks like and why it's worthy of protection. So that's a huge part of this. We have Danae on the team who will be working on learning more about the mythology and the value that the locals put to their caves as well, and the ancient mythology. The island of Muna has a very interesting history in the sense that it used to be a kingdom back in the 1600s, and they have a completely different language just to the next island called Bao Bao. And like Jared said, the locals here are so friendly. They're so excited for us to be here. So we're pretty excited to go and speak to them tonight, and then we'll see what the next couple of weeks are going to bring. So I think that's our time up as well. But before we end, we couldn't have done this without our sponsors. So we haven't been able to make like a sponsor list. So I'm going to read them out loud. So thank you so much to our sponsors: Halcyon, Fourth Element, Dan Europe, Seacraft, Shearwater, X-Deep Exploration Support Program, Big Blue Europe, Divesoft, and of course our main sponsor is Rolex and its Perpetual Planet initiative, as well as Mac3. And we've also been partnering with Wings, Women in Discovery, and that's after very high recommendations from Jill. And you are absolutely right. This is an amazing organization for women in exploration and in science. So if you are a woman, you're excited about science, please go look up Wings, Women in Exploration. And then we're also broadcasting to kids with Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. We've already done one live session last week, and we're gonna do 2 more in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So big apologies for not sitting here with amazing pictures and footage to show you. Our connection out here is poor, but as you can see, we're very excited and we can't wait to show more as the weeks are coming on our social media pages and website.
Good, thank you.